Our daughter was named Sarah, and she served in the Navy for 6 years, and that's where she met her husband. Her husband had served 20 years in the military and was diagnosed with PTSD. And so they had grown distant. He wouldn't participate with the kids, and she was in the process of going through a divorce. And so we had threatened our daughter a week before the event. And then ultimately, a week later, we were talking to her on the phone. And when she entered into the house with the little one, the littlest one was 20 months at the time, she said, someone's in here, someone's been in here. And we started yelling to her on the phone, or saying to her anyway, get out of the house now. Then we heard her say, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. And then her phone dropped, and we could hear the footsteps of her running, and we heard 3 shots. And he killed her. I remember we were standing right next to the bed, and then when it happened, Tree started screaming her name and literally like almost convulsing, shaking.
And I called her name for about a half hour. I wouldn't stop. I wanted her to hear me.
And then apparently he grabbed the littlest one and took him in his vehicle that he had driven there. And he ended up committing suicide while driving. And thank God the car just swerved over and the baby was okay. So we were out there by that night, flying out, and we were there for the next week and a half and going to court and getting the kids, and everybody's life changed.
I started working with Therese about a year after her daughter's death. She came in feeling anxious and had a lot of grief, was tearful, had a really hard time talking about what had happened to her daughter. We really worked on understanding what was going on in terms of the grief and the trauma that she experienced, understanding her feelings, being able to create a space where she was able to experience those feelings and how difficult they were to express. Meanwhile, also trying to understand what it was like to go from a grandmother to now being a mother of 3 boys, and the transition of that period, while also trying to help them process their grief and their trauma of what had happened in their family.
Counseling certainly helped. The first, I'd say, year and a half was extremely difficult, especially with our oldest. He was just absolutely angry all the time, and he would take it out on me mostly, and his brother, his younger brother. I learned in counseling that was a good thing because he felt safe with me, and I was like, oh, this doesn't feel good, but it was nice to know. That's why he shared.
Mariposa and Zach in particular helped us to speak about our losses and process through with the kids what it felt like, what we experienced, and all the different emotions and our beliefs about loss. And we really appreciate what you guys have done for us.
After a few weeks of working with the boys, we invited Therese to come out on her own to support her in her healing journey. And since she had seen the relaxation of the ranch, the calmness and the healing that was occurring in the boys and the change in them, she decided to do it for her own healing process. And the horses really focus on honesty and congruency and giving feedback to that. So they were able to give her feedback on some of the areas that she was struggling in with her own healing and what she needed to do to make that healing happen.
It was interesting because if you were being honest and, sharing your feelings and really, your heart, and, for me, sometimes I want to fake it because I don't want to go there. But if I was honest, the horse would come right up to me and kind of nuzzle me and just hang with me, and it would just be right here. But if I was pretending I was okay and not being honest, he would actually walk all the way, as far away as he could. And they told me, oh, that was part of it. I think it's powerful.
So I saw Therese for a little over a year. We decided to stop our sessions together because she felt more confident in setting boundaries and her healthy coping skills. She wasn't isolating as much from other people. She felt more connected to herself and then also more connected to her family. And she was able to find some place of acceptance with what had happened. As her therapist, I was able to help her connect her thoughts with her feelings, understand what was happening to her brain and her body in terms of the trauma that she had experienced, and also help her family process that as well.
So I just would encourage anyone who has had loss or trauma or abuse or domestic violence to seek help, definitely seek help. I remember back like 30 or 40 years ago hearing about Mariposa and thinking it was just for women, and finding out through losing our daughter, it's not just for women, it's for women and children and families and men too. It's very valuable. I appreciate them.
Yeah, Mariposa's been a blessing, and they'll bless you too.